Man, you gotta hand it to Snafu, and you gotta hand it to the studio that animates this series. Like, bro, just, it's very hard for a studio or any person to probably display emotions without dialogue, or without it being explained to the viewers. What I'm getting at is in this episode, when Hachiman, when he walks into that room, if you've paid attention to how he normally operates, you'll instantly key in on this. But when you see him walk into the room, he knocks before he comes into the room, and then he walks in front of them, he grabs the chair in front of them, and it was like he was going to sit down. And then, to see that scene, that was just a huge moment for Hachiman as a character. That was one of the biggest moments I have seen his character take in the series I've seen from the anime, because the amount of meaning in that scene is monumental for his character development and a huge turning point in this series, because there's a lot of things you could think about right now what this episode really meant, but the main thing is that we can pull out is Hachiman wants something genuine. And what does that genuine meaning, what does it really mean, like, to us as a viewer? Like, what is that, besides giving us feels? He wants an honest relationship. That's one thing he wants. So, through his flashbacks and his inner monologues and stuff like that, you see how he's tired of constantly having, a relationship that was between ulterior motives to, people not being, truthful in front of him, just hiding things behind their words. And he was tired of that, and as he continued to look through his memories and think back and stuff until he finally said, I want something genuine, you see how he kind of finally admits his mistakes, and that's what you really pull out of that. You could pull out that Hachiman, he admits that the way he operates in some ways is not correct. He finally admits that, and that's huge. That's very huge, because when it's coming from a character like Hachiman that is designed, or, his personality is like it's been to where he feels like every way he operates is the best way, or, he knows the way around how people think and stuff like that, then you realize how monumental this scene really meant. And then the genuine scene was him wanting to actually have a relationship or someone to be with, or friends that were genuine, not people that he would just, have this ulterior motive in the back of his head, like, okay, they must have an ulterior motive with their words they're saying to me, I wonder what they mean. I mean, he's piecing together what they actually truly mean from what they're saying, and we've seen displays of this throughout the series of Snafu, especially, with Ishiki. She's, one of the most recent people we have seen that our main male character, Hachiman, has done that with. So to see that, it's just so sad, because it gives you so many feels how he was able to finally admit something like this and actually break down and say something like that. It takes a true man to admit you're wrong, and it takes another true man to even cry like he did, and then admit what he really wanted. I give, if I had hats off to Hachiman, hats off. If I had a hat on right now, I would bow my hat, and I would bow before him, so, dude, that's some balls right there. That'd take some huge balls. With this episode, though, besides him finally saying what he wants, what he's looking for, and breaking down in front of Yui and Yukino, and to see how he had these internal monologues that just were so breathtaking, because it really makes you start thinking about his character, there's other things going on in this episode. You have it to where the bonds between Yui, Yukino, and Hachiman have grown even further after this episode, because with the ending, when Yukino runs away to the rooftop, you see that she's very upset, because she doesn't know how to take this, because this person that she's known for a long time, Hachiman, just breaks down like that, and then cries and says, I want something genuine. She realizes what this really meant, and how much effort it took from Hachiman to even come about, even say something like that, and Yukino didn't even know how to take it. She did not know how to take that at all, so the only thing she could think of was to run, because she's like, I don't know how to take this. And, I mean, if you're in that situation, and you had this friend that was like that, and you were like Yukino with her personality, you wouldn't probably know how to react either. You probably wouldn't, because it's a very strange occurrence. That is like, whoa, it would fuck anyone up. It would just throw you out of left field. You're like, oh my god. So, to see that ending sequence when Yui and Yukino are crying together and Hachimon just looks off in the distance into the sunset, or, the sky, and you just see it, getting darker and stuff, that, oh my god, like, when it comes to slice of life of this anime season, oh shit, man. Yahari, or Snafu Season 2, is definitely one of the best. Oh yeah. And judging by the way this season ends, like, Season 2 ends with, tying up whatever this season is trying to accomplish besides Hachimon's development, which that's kind of what the series is about. Depending on how Season 2 ends, this might move up into one of my all-time favorite rom-coms I've ever seen. It probably will, because this is such an amazing series. I want to read the light novel so bad, because this is that type of series that I want to see the inner strive of the characters, what motivates a character to do what they're wanting to do, or their inner thoughts of what they truly think on situations. Like, this episode did a perfect example of the flawed logic somewhat of Hachimon's outcome, what he's been doing throughout the entire series. Like, see, Hachimon as a character, he always thought he had the answers. He always thought he realized what people were thinking. He realized their ulterior motives, and you can't really say he was wrong. He kind of did know what everybody was doing. But in this episode, the sensei brings up something that is actually the truth. It is the truth. See, people, they tend to act differently sometimes depending on how they truly feel. For instance, some people lash out in anger when in fact in their heart, with their feelings of the heart, they are sad or depressed. And see, you can't really judge a person by their actions. See, there's a different type of logical thinking compared to, like, the heart logic. For instance, like I said, someone can be very aggressive, very angry, very mean, and you'd think they're an asshole. That's what you would think. And you just think that's part of them. And, their logical thinking is they just like to torture people. But in reality, they're lashing out because they are depressed or something like that. And that kind of goes with what the sensei meant. See, there's a difference between logical thinking and people that use their heart to think. Like, some people will do actions, but it won't seem logical because their feelings are a lot different from what they're actually doing. And that's what this episode is to show in the flawed logic of Hachimon, what he's been doing throughout the entire series. And so, I love that. I love it. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of something like that when it comes to an anime or manga. That is so damn good. It is so good. I can't express that enough. It's so good. Oh my god, like, this series, I'm serious right now. I'd probably rate this I'd probably rate this almost, oh my god, like, just from the way I've seen from Season 1 and Season 2, I would rate this probably a 9.5, man. Like, oh my god. It's rare to see the inner strive of characters like we saw in this episode, or throughout this series. It's so rare. It is so rare. It really is. It's so rare to see how a company can actually do something like what they've displayed in this episode. So rare. It is so hard to do, and it's so hard to accomplish. So much talent was put into this episode, and it's going to be sad because not a lot are really going to realize how much effort was really put into this episode, and the writing in general. It's scary to see how this was done, and it's going to fall under the radar of anime watchers, and they'll look at it as if it's a standard slice of life, or not really pull out the true meaning of what this episode really meant as a watcher of the series. This episode has so much meaning along with the, the previous episodes, but my god. Snafu, continue to amaze me. Continue to amaze me, continue to be impressive, and continue to shock me and make me put my foot in my mouth about rom-coms. I never thought I would see a rom-com like this. I never did. So that's it. That's it for my review of this episode. Just very deep, a very good episode, a lot of meaning. Tell me your thoughts. What was your favorite moment? How do you feel about the developments in this episode? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.